Okay, so let's have a look now. We are at the end of round one here. Let's find out whether or not I was able to finish him with that body shot. I think I actually said double jab, straight left, a right hook to the body.
Very even fight.
Oh, I believe the power J is feeling that extra weight, I believe.
There's a little right hook to the body there. One thing I will say about JST, right, this guy can take a punch, like, ridiculous amount of power behind my punches, and he just ate them.
How long is he going to be able to be this light on his feet? Obviously, Jay weighs a lot less. This may be a good round for Beaman, but will it continue?
Ooh.
Good question there. We're about to find out.
Good uppercut there. I know one thing's sure.
I went into this fight a little bit slower than I would have liked.
That's a good body shot there.
Amazing shot selection from
You like that?
Got Jay in the corner.
Pull it back.
Continue.
Ooh.
Good question there. We're about to find out.
Good uppercut.
Little
there.
uppercut inside there.
I know one thing's sure. Anton's definitely taking.
Watch this now.
100%.
See that body shot then? Let's watch that in slow motion. Watch this in slow motion because I want you to understand exactly where this landed and how it must have like zapped at least 20% of Jay's energy out of him, right? And he stayed on his feet. This is why I got to give massive props to JST in this fight, man. Watch this now, right? Blocked that. Threw a little check hook over the top, missed the left hook, and bang. Just sunk that right into his rib cage. He felt it, and he stayed up. Got another one in there. And then guess what? He gets under and gets in close. Let me tell you something now, right? Technically speaking, from a boxing standpoint, JST is a good boxer, right? Out of his depth against me, I'm an experienced boxer, but JST he's got the fundamentals there. One thing I would say, he needs to move his head a little bit more, and not stand in trade with a larger opponent.
From Beaman, got Jay in the corner. But Jay, he's not running off.
JST's standing up to him.
That was the body shot that I was predicting to finish him with. I hit him with another one there as well.
What a first round that was. If he keeps going like this, we're going to have another fight the night contender.
He was so happy with himself there, you know, like really happy. Just look at this face now, wait there. Look at this. I think it shows it now, look. Look at him. Funny, man.
He's loving this. After getting hit that many times, it's there with his tongue out and then replying. It's a very good fight, this.
BADBOY doesn't seem to be using his stool.
BADBOY is not tired. Again, it's mind game. Into our second round of the.
So I will say this, I did win the first round, and it was very clear that I won it. I made Jay miss a lot of shots. I landed a lot of my shots. I think I landed about 85-90% of the shots I threw. Whereas I made Jay miss quite a lot, like 60-70% of the shots he threw. I was blocking and parrying, slipping. But obviously the people commentating this fight obviously must have had a dodgy angle because they were calling out that it was an even round. I think a lot of the guys thought that JST was ahead on points, but he was hitting guard with a lot of them. But listen, you can steal rounds by doing that in boxing, and I think JST knows that. You know, he'll have been told if you just throw fast shots, a lot of them, whether you hit the guard or not, you can win on points. And he predicted from the get-go that he was gonna, you know, he was gonna try and win on decision. He didn't ever have a plan to come in and knock me out. But my plan was always to go in and finish him, stop him in some way.
I love it, I love it. Over there in the office. Bouncing around Jay, 11th lighter on his feet.
Oh,
that's a
good
left
fired as well.
See, I was just slipping out the way of punches there, right? Blocking the punches there, turned him, missed that, slipped a couple more punches. He landed one or two there. I parried that one out the way.
Just look at the size difference of these guys when they're stood right next to each other.
He's hitting me with a couple there, but again, straight punches down the middle. That left hook to the body then zapped some energy out of him, okay?
Very quick on his feet as well.
Caught that there.
Just look at the head movements, like, was all the way to the left, rolled back under.
He's got that Mayweather style, he's keeping one hand down.
Block that with my elbow, block again, block, block.
He's taking them though. He's ducking out of the way. Ooh. He's good, he's peeing off.
He hit me with a few there.
Not the best idea against BADBOY though, with the size difference.
He needs to be careful. That one hit from Beaman can change anything.
BADBOY's definitely picking his shots. He's definitely not fully committing. He doesn't want to deplete that gas tank. Yeah.
Whoever said that, BADBOY's picking his shots, that's exactly what you're meant to do in boxing. Like, you know, I'm not going to stand there and just start throwing and throwing and throwing. I'm not going to throw 15 shots in hope of landing one or two. I'll throw one or two and land them both. Do you know what I mean? And that's how that's for me is how you win a fight. You know, you look at the shots thrown versus shots landed and stuff like that. I actually probably threw more shots than Jay and landed more as well every round. But in this round, shortly, I do stop him. Let's have a look at that. Give him a standing 8 in this round. He's got blood all over his face as well.
What's the state of JST's nose? Can we get a status on that?
And I just want to say the kip of his face there, the blood on his face, is a prime example of just how much heart this kid has got, just how much of a chin this lad has got, you know what I mean? Like, he was just taking big shots. Now, they might not look like big shots because of the way he's taking them, but they were big shots.
Can't tell from this angle.
He's looking a bit tired as well.
Oh, that's a good shot. Not where you want to be.
Even there then, right? I hit him with that body shot again. Let's watch this. And I was thinking about it in the fight as well, guys, because I knew I'd made the prediction. I thought, I need to finish him by this, so I predicted it. Right, watch. Do that straight left, and then try to throw the hook there, and then come in there, sunk it in, but he blocked it. He was able to block it, and do you know what was good about it for him? He's cross-arm. He has this cross-arm stance, which means that his elbow is blocking that side of his ribcage quite a lot. He's, you know, it's risky. So he's just hitting me gloves at the moment there. I turned him, bang, bang. I will say that was a slight bit of inexperience from JST, showing his back, keeping his hands down. I think he almost felt like maybe I was in the wrong there, but that was fully right in the rules of boxing. I didn't hit him in the back of the head, I didn't hit him in the back, I hit him in the face. And unfortunately for him, I did show experience compared to him in that moment.
Blood coming out of Jay's nose here. Was that a bit of a turnaround from Jay?
His corner team were not happy about that moment, obviously, but I think that's his dad, and his dad, obviously being aware of the rules of boxing, knew that it was right. Like, so let's carry on.
The thing is, you've got to fight to the bell. You can't stop.
You can't stop.
You got to keep going.
You have to. Never turn your back.
Again, that's the experience difference.
BADBOY took the advantage of getting those extra few shots.
Again, my gloves are up there. Just
when he's not having his hands up.
See, we just saw there. Beaman is taking.
There was still respect there after the end of the second round as well. You know, JST touching gloves on the way past, and I've said from the beginning, respect all the way through. Right, this guy here in the background, as you can see him there with the afro, that's Ruben Hobbs. I love his hair, by the way, fucking brilliant. He was my original opponent, and he literally had like medical issues, had to pull out. So for Jay to step in, and listen, it wasn't like a last minute pull out, but Jay stepped in with like 2.5 months of training left to do, so he was more than happy to do it. He'd been training for months already, so made up to Jay, stepped in. That's why I gave him all the respect all the way through, because he deserved it. So let's skip through now a little bit further.
Jay is stepping in the ring with someone.
I remember the prediction was to stop him with the right hook to the body.
Anton's definitely watching this very closely.
I think Tommy will be as well.
Good shots. That's true, yeah, Tommy as well.
I'm sure BADBOY will want to get his revenge for his boy Halford.
Yeah, maybe we might be getting a JST Anton, and maybe a BADBOY versus Tommy. That might be in the works. Back on this fight right now. Oh, that's a good
Right on
left
the
hand.
chin. JST has a chin.
got a chin and
He
arm.
has a chin.
That drop. These hits.
Oh,
that's
a
a
good
good
look
right
at
hand
the
as well.
trade. Look at the trade.
that is-
That annoyed the hell out of me watching that back. Look at the trade. Look at the trade. There was no trade there. He was swinging and missing, right?
He has a chin.
Watch the head movement. Look low, up, down.
Look at the
Missed every single shot in that moment, and then I threw back at the end.
That is some good boxing there.
Oh my.
Even there, hit him with a right left.
Look at him. He's still.
Now watch the body shot here,
Can't trade
no.
with Beaman. Beaman it all.
and it dropped him. So if he'd have finished and stayed down at that moment, I would have won off my prediction. But unfortunately, he got back up. I honestly thought the ref was going to stop it at this point. I thought he wasn't going to get up because he had his head down as well. It could just be lack of experience there. He gave the ref his attention here. Should have had his hands up. Yes, ref, I'm ready to go. He stepped forward, and I'll tell you again, chin and heart of a lion, this guy, yeah?
Oh, he's replying.
And he's still on his toes, still dancing around a bit, yeah?
Oh,
Good
stiff.
job there.
The thing is, the thing with this fight,
He's
I feel
depleted
like
though, you know, his
Jay's-
punches are zapped, like there's nothing in it.
I feel like Jay just
And you can tell that, like he's trying to throw flurries and he's exhausted here.
technically maybe better than Beaman, but see, just trading with him, Beaman's always going to get in the
Maybe
heavy
not even
shots.
technically, just fitter than him. Oh!
Right, okay, so let's just pull it back so we can hear what the commentators are saying just before this. Yeah, Leo Haynes, this is for you.
Just calm down and just realise that he is technically maybe better than Beaman, but
He is technically maybe better than Beaman. And then what happens?
see, just
Slip,
trading
slip,
with him,
slip.
Beaman's always
Push.
gonna get in the
Maybe
heavy
not even
shots.
technically, just
Bang.
fitter than him. Oh!
And that's it.
So he was made to eat his own words very quickly, that Leo Haynes, wasn't he? And this is a guy who had been bigging up JST all the way through. He's been training with pros, he's this, he's that. But he didn't do a single bit of research on me, like. But one thing I will say, in this moment here, I had the option. Like, so people are like, you know, worried about that uppercut. It was a legal punch, completely legal, no problem at all. He hadn't hit the canvas yet, so it was all above board. But I would have liked to have landed that a little bit earlier than I did. And there's a reason I didn't, because in my mind there, I'm thinking, I predicted I'm going to finish him with a right hook to the body. Right, so I thought if I land that right hook as he's going down, I could claim, you know, I predicted it right. But I felt that the uppercut would have been more effective as he was going down onto it. That way, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, you want your opponent to stay down. He was out cold on his feet, falling forward. Watch this.
Trading with
I'm going to slow it down quickly so you guys can see actually the decision making that I was making there, right?
Beaman's always
So,
gonna get
fade
in
jab,
the heavy
straight left,
Technically.
jab again, overhand left. It would have been perfect for the body shot there. You see me go to do it, then I decide to go for the uppercut instead. You can see me like faint to do it there. This moment here, when he's falling, I went to throw it and then decided against it.
Than him.
Look at Ruben Hobbs in the crowd there.
Oh my god.
Do you know, I will say, like, I've got no ill will against any fighter from this card whatsoever. Ruben Hobbs come and spoke to me at the end, but I was obviously full of adrenaline, hyped up after the KO victory. And as I was walking out, he was stood there, you know, great fight, man. I went, Ruben, that could have been you. And honestly, like, it could have been, you know, it could have been me and him sharing the ring, and it could have ended the same way, but I've spoken with Ruben, he's decided he's going down to cruiserweight. I've spoken to JST, again, he's decided he's going down to cruiserweight. A lot of these heavyweights in the scene are definitely not natural heavyweights. As you can tell, I am. Even if I was to lose another 3 stone, I'd still be heavyweight. And I'd look good for it, unlike what these cameras are adding on, like £10 here and there. But, like, yeah, I didn't predict it right. I did knock him down with my prediction, but he got back up. And let me tell you something now, I'm looking forward to seeing the future of JST in the boxing scene. I think he's going to go into the cruiserweight division and he's going to flourish. I'll be supporting him the whole way through because he was a great opponent in the ring. And I don't think you guys quite understand how hard I hit. I hit like a freight train. I hit like a bulldozer. And JST was able to stomach at least, I think it was a minimum of 10 overhand lefts. And when that lands, it bloody lands. And he ate it. His face was bleeding, his mouth was bleeding, his nose was bleeding, his eye was a bit bust up, right? And he kept staying on his toes. He kept trying to trade with me, right? So massive respect to JST. And yeah, I'm going to be seeing if I can get him on the podcast. So guys, if you haven't already, go and subscribe to the Triple B podcast channel. It's linked in the description below.